Hey guys, welcome to the Deep Talks podcast. Thank you for tuning in, and without further ado, let's just get into it.
So as she said, let's get straight into it. So the question / topic / pinpoint / of today is, what aspects of culture do you not like and why? Now this can be, obviously we're all like Nigerian and we grew up in the UK apart from Jude, so we can say British culture, we can say Nigerian culture, African culture, but everyone just say the culture they're talking about before they do you get? So who wants to start? Who already has their
Indian culture?
Why are you like this? Why are you like this?
You know,
I like that.
You know they can say what's that word they use? You know, when you
wait.
it's discrimination, yeah, okay. Because they say it's discrimination.
Please, you don't say those your words.
Don't whisper Wow.
All right, so who wants to go first? Who has the culture?
All right,
cultural man, go first.
Yeah. But for me, culture is very, very vast.
Alright.
Yes, it's big to me.
Alright.
Culture for me is to have been, you know, for when we're young, they'll say this person doesn't have reading culture. There are different cultures that doesn't have reading culture, it doesn't have discipline culture, it doesn't have. You must have heard that, come across that phrase before, heard that phrase before. You don't have a reading culture, you don't have not at all. Oh, my dad used to say to me a lot, like when I read for a very short time and it's not long, like you don't have reading culture. Like, so you have to read for long, yeah. But for me, culture is very deep. But why the problem I have with it that I feel like if I can change is that it's to not way back. I'm a very cultural person and I like roots. If we said it this way, it should be this way, applicable for everybody, not for some people. We do it today. For example, we're saying you can. That is one of the things that is so annoying, but not annoying. I don't want to say annoying. Where that is disturbing about the culture in Nigeria. Here you see, like it's like the elders, the seniors, the elders have like a leeway to do anything. For example, they can just. I think like it's not an excuse. To misbehave.
No one holds
them accountable.
Do you know what it is? Apparently the eldest, like, so somebody does something, then the older is supposed to hold them, then the older. But when you get to the eldest, there's no elder.
So accountable.
And that's why, go on.
For example, now you see like
around
they'll tell us don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And elders, you see our elders, they get drunk. They get drunk. They tell you if you get the moment you drink and you get drunk is this is that. I'm not telling anybody to go and get. If you go out high and you fall inside gutter, it's not my concern. But what I'm saying is that it should be the same. If you say this is bad for this, it should be bad for you. If you say this should be
by example,
the elders will tell you it's not good to come home late. And sometimes they'll come home late. But you can't ask them why do you do this?
That's a big thing for me as well. They don't lead by. I don't think any of the elders lead by.
It's just the same. It's just like sometimes that's one of the issues I feel like. But because I understand, I'm from Benin, and Benin is a very cultural place, and our heritage is one of the things that it's been on for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. That's why I say when I'm a cultural person, I'm intentional about it. I know stuff about Benin, my family, my lineage. There are things I know that I go to the root, like why are we like this? Why do we do this thing? Why do we do that thing? Why do we do this thing? And if you look at the palace, for example, a lot of things doesn't change. It's the same way it was done in Benin Palace. And like what was done 1807 is the same way it's been done now. It's just the building can look different, but the things are still the same. So that's what I'm saying. I enjoy that kind of because
it's consistent.
Yes, it's consistent. Not the one that sometimes I feel like they're just making this new culture up. They'll tell you do this, they tell you that. Or for example, when you're getting married, they say you're in cultural way, and they'll tell you you have to do a certain thing, and you have to do this, you have to do that. You see the family and people who have not been involved in the life of this person that is getting married because of culture just want to demand something. That's selfish. It's wickedness. There are children who have been traumatized all their life, gone through a lot of different things. Now you have been involved in their life. You have never said it, nothing physically, emotionally, spiritually. You have never been anywhere with them. But on their wedding day, you sit down there. They're bringing you all the most expensive wines. You're telling them this is what it is because of culture. So the same culture should be like, if
you
want to eat from that thing,
the thing is the reason why, like, and this is where I get what Chineli was saying before about how like people do half and half, because the reason why the whole village will come together and all the elders will sit and demand money is because the whole village would have raised the child previously. So when they didn't make sense, so it makes sense for everybody to come and demand. This is what I want.
There's a proverb in Benin that will say one person doesn't give birth to a child.
It's a vintage.
Because back in the day, back in the day,
I don't even agree with that.
No, back in the day, if a child was born like by
statement of it takes a community to raise a child. I agree with that. But for me, an elder, and this is where I see so many problems, because like back to what Jude was saying, for me, an elder should not be demanding anything off of people that are younger than them. Because if you're the most responsible person, you're the most mature person, you should be the one taking care of other people. So the fact that elders feel like they have the right or whatever to demand resources from the younger ones doesn't make sense to me. I'm the one supposed to be looking up to you. So I'm the one trying to become what basically you are. You should be the one taking care of the whole family, taking care of everyone there, not the other way around.
That's how it works in certain cultures.
And in culture, when, like, for example, there can be an elder and they see that their little brothers or little nephews or whatever are doing well, they'll now stop working and just be like, oh yeah, you lot should be providing for me. And in culture, that happens all the time. But for me, that's just wrong completely. I feel like the elders are the ones supposed to be.
I think that's where Nigerian culture differs from British culture, because for most of the older people I come in contact with, they are the ones providing. They have trust funds for their children and grandchildren. Even if everybody gets 1K, they still get money off their back.
I agree, but slightly disagree, because I feel like at what point do you? Because if you're the child and you're always being taken care of, then at what point do you end up pick up the responsibility? And then as the adult, you're the adult. At what point do you? I don't want to say get to rest, but at what point do you get to rest?
You don't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
You should.
Because
so
realistically, because this is where everyone misses it. This is where, for me, everyone misses it. You're saying that the child should take up the responsibility. How can the child take up their own responsibility and build their own life when they have to babysit their parents? No. Secondly, you decided to bring other people into the world. For example, I decided to buy a car. I can't complain when the car breaks down and I'm the one that has to fix it. I can't complain when I have to go to the petrol station and put petrol in the car. I can't complain and say, when will this car give me rest? I'm the one who bought the car. If you're not ready to take on the responsibilities of having a child or having a generation under you, don't do it.
That's why a lot of them decide not to have children.
Well, then that's fine. But for me, you brought someone into the world that didn't even choose to be into the world, and you're telling them to look after you. That's where my problem is.
Some people have 9 children.
But then I think
at a certain point, I feel like at a certain point, as the child, you are now supposed to take up responsibility.
But I think
your parent, not because your parent demands it. Like, I don't feel like the thing that you're saying, people's parents just drop everything and sit down and say, now come and feed me. I don't think that should be the case. I think as a parent, for me, I feel like when I'm older, I will still have my own source. Yeah, so I'm not. It's not my child has to send me weekly income for me to live.
Yeah, but my problem now is if your child doesn't do that, we have a problem with it.
If my child doesn't,
if your child no, not weekly income. If you get to an age, say your child is 25, 30 or whatever, and they choose that, you know what, maybe I might give you a lump sum or whatever. What if they choose to then not start looking after you? We have a problem with it.
If my child is 30, I'll be 60, so I'll still be doing my own thing. What I'm saying is, when I'm old and I'm sat down and I'm resting,
will you have a problem with it?
If my child turns around and tells me they're not doing anything for me, they're not buying me any gifts, they're not helping me out, they don't want to pay for my tickets, they don't want to do anything, I will question, what did I do that you don't love me to this extent?
Yeah, but because it comes from that, them not wanting to do that comes from you asking for it and demanding it.
Yeah.
If your child, it is because the parent comes in. This is completely off topic. We're gonna have to name it something else. But the parent, what happens is the elder or the parent gets to a stage where they start demanding that their child should be taking up certain responsibilities. He's talking about when they demand it. For me, and that always happens regardless. There's not.
It's just like saying, Chineye, as my daughter, it's your responsibility to at least send me monthly income.
And that's what happens.
Why would somebody say that?
No, but it happens.
But we're talking, every scenario we were talking about is me and my child, and I said he doesn't have to send me monthly income.
Well, it's not about monthly income. I'm talking about, would you be okay if your child decided to never do the gift thing and that?
No, because
wait.
So for me, that's entitlement. Because for me, if my child decided to never give me gifts or whatever, I wouldn't be fussed. I wouldn't care.
But
I actually wouldn't care.
But it depends, like, because for example, there's different love languages. So there's different ways that you can express how you love yourself and how you love your parents. Do you get what I mean? So if your parents is taking care of you in a particular way, for example, they're some parents buy their child's gifts to show them love, or they hang with them all the time for quality time, stuff like that. Your parents will show you how they love you in a particular way. If you don't show them any, like, it doesn't even have to be money. If you don't call them or you don't quality time,
like you're not giving back.
There's
the relationship is gonna die.
That makes sense. But I'm talking about the whole the taking up of responsibilities. When
let me explain in Nigeria. When a son gets comes of age, he's expected to take up the responsibility of his parents and everyone younger than him.
Simple.
So that involves money. It involves time. It involves, for example, let's say the parents now are older and maybe the mom used to work in the market and then she stopped it. So now anything that happens or goes bad in the house, anything that involves money, any contribution they need to make, if they want to build a house, if the younger one needs to go to school and they don't have the money to pay, or maintenance fee, it's his responsibility.
And for me,
and he has no option.
And the way I see life is, until my parents are dead, they are the ones who's supposed to be doing that. But in our culture, it's not like that at all. Once you
start working, you're expected to do that.
But you're expected to now step up and fulfill that role.
Yes.
But for me, I didn't create this family. You created me. So your responsibility is to look after what goes on. And when I have my own family, anything that goes on wrong in my own family, I look after. But the way I see it is, how do I build my own family and structure my life
because imagine if they have a lot of children, so imagine you're looking after 4 siblings under you plus your parents.
Then again, let me see, because if you look,
I don't understand that.
If you look at back in the day, because these things is like, it's passed on and on and on and on. That is why it now looks like, that's how culture actually starts. Just what's one thing that's been passing on and on and on and on and on and on, because it now looks like a norm. So what I think is wrong with that is that now I understand that parents should demand. For example, have a daughter. Sometimes I know how much of my time, my resources, everything I'm going to put into her becoming successful in life. And now I can work 12 hours. I can do 10-hour shift. I can work 12 hours for 5 days and still be strong. But a time will come where I will no longer be like that.
Yeah.
So now, this I'm working like this now, putting it towards that, so that when that time comes,
investment,
because why it's like that for Africans, Nigerians especially, because then again you see some families, then again when the parents were young, they will go to farm and they were working to feed the family, to sponsor everything. It will get to a time they will no longer be able to work. Waste is now broken. So everything is now broken. Then they will not tell the other one that you have been seeing us do these things.
It's now your turn.
It's now your turn to do this. But where is wrong, where I feel is wrong, is that sometimes these children are dealing with things on their own. Then again, it's not when you not start demanding it.
Like it's by force.
It's not you not start demanding it. Of course, even in the Bible, when they grow older, they have to take care of the older ones. But it's when you not start demanding, you start demanding like, this is what I want, and this is not just this is what I want, this is how it should be.
And they start demanding it before you even get to a stage where you can even handle that demand.
No, I think the stage for African parents is just when you're able to work, when you finish.
But that's not.
But that's
the way it works for them. If you need once you can earn your money.
That is why I say. That is why I say. And whether you like it or not, another thing. This is because I say. I grew up in Nigeria. I've seen, for example, I know that a lot of things. My dad is doing very, very well. He can afford a lot of things that he needs. But if I buy him that thing, it gives them this extra
joy.
It makes them for example, I can buy him a pair of shoes, and the same way he will wear that pair of shoes. For example, when mom is going to Nigeria, say, give dad this thing. When he wears that same thing, and sometimes we know where we got the thing from. We know, it's not what you think. But he wears it so like, my children brought this for me. It tells everybody around.
Well, he didn't expect you to buy that for him. That's why he felt.
But I think
what I'm saying is that sometimes I'm trying to see from that perspective now, because I've seen it, the kind of joy it gives them. So sometimes they're not doing it. It's also pressure on them. Like, my son is doing this now. I want to do this. So that's why I say culture sometimes is just.
I also think part of the reason why it is people see it as an issue is. One, like, as much as we can say like the age and one thing that is very true, that is the older you get, the more you understand a lot of reasons why a lot of things are the way that they are. When you're younger, you think you lot are just wilding out, but you get older and it makes sense. Then as well, there's no real communication, so it's not, nobody ever comes to explain why it's like that. Or even let's say in the case of like your dad and how you bought him shoes, some people's parents are communicative to be like, I saw this and I liked it and blah 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 blah, knowing that you'll buy it for them. But they're just saying, do you get what I mean? They're telling you they want you to buy you something, but they're doing it in a way.
I feel like that's where the problem is in the first place.
Other people's parents are just, when you're coming to Nigeria, bring this for me. Or when you're coming, don't forget me. Exactly. So everybody's way of
communication is different.
Exactly. But everybody's way of communication is different. But all they're really trying to say is that do not forget that I'm here. Don't forget me.
You know, that's literally. I once read a book.
I feel like even that's a problem.
No, but
because as soon as somebody, I'm gonna let you speak, but as soon as somebody says to me that they want something, you've already, like, it's already a burden, because I was gonna do it for you without you even asking. You shouldn't be coming to me to tell me that you want something. You shouldn't expect. I feel like people shouldn't expect that much of other people. They will just do it for you regardless. Don't ask them for things. Just go about your way. If you want it, try find out how you can get it for yourself. If somebody gets it for you, you'll appreciate it even more. But when you start, if I come to someone and say, I would really like a new phone, my phone is bad. As soon as I say things like that, I'm expecting them to buy me a new phone. The moment they don't, I'm upset. Do you get? Whereas if you just go about your way and maybe if you start, for example, and now I want a new phone. I don't tell you about it. It's bad. I just be using it. Maybe I'm planning on how to get a new phone. Then my child gets me a phone. I'll appreciate it. I'll understand that there's love there. But as soon as I start expecting my child to do this, and bro, like,
that's why I
don't agree with that whole telling people what you want and da. Just go about your day, and if they want to get it for you, they want to get it for you.
Like what I was saying about the book, I read the book about negotiating family responsibility, and basically the book, in most of the examples, people tend to do things for others out of reciprocity. Because you did it for me, I'm going to do it back for you. So back then, you have parents that give up their life and their dreams, invest all they have in a child to make sure that child lives vicariously and does whatever they want. So obviously, when that child goes forward, it is no, I will not say it's an expectation, but it is.
You should pay back.
You should be able to give something back.
No, but any child,
because they
realistically, children want to give back.
Yeah,
but my problem with this whole statement and this whole situation is, before you had a child, you knew that you were going to sacrifice your life for the child.
Yeah.
So why are you making it? Let me not say a big deal, but you decided to have a child, and now you've sacrificed for your life for your child, and you want them to pay it back for you. You shouldn't even want that. Is my point.
It has nothing to do with the person wanting. I'm saying the reciprocity in the sense of the child.
That's different.
So it's not
that one. I have no.
So I'm saying that is why.
Realistically, as a child. Your parents have done so much for you. Of course, you should want to.
So I think when it comes
to,
I think when it comes to Nigerian culture, the issue is the demand.
That's
where my problem is. When they did nothing, there's some parents that
that's my problem because you decide. You can't say now, I've given everything for you. I've done all this for you. I've sacrificed my life. One, you haven't. Two, maybe you have. But you chose to have me. That is the price of having a child. And I'm sorry, if you don't want to sacrifice your life for your child, don't have a child.
That
is why simple. That's why
people in this British they'll tell you, I don't want children.
Before I have a child, I know for a fact, as soon as I have a family and a child, my life is no longer my own life. Of course, I will do things that I enjoy, but my life is no longer my life. I live for my family and my child.
Yes.
Simple. If you have a problem with that, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't have a kid.
Because me as a mom, I know for a certain there's so many things I would love to be doing now. But I look at Noya's face, and she there's a way someone used to put it, face your front. So when I look at Noya's face, I face my front because she's my front. She's the future. So whatever I do, I have to, because if I'm looking sideways, back, left and right, my past, my future, I look at her and I face my front. So there's so many sacrifices already. Even planning my future career path, I'm slashing things down because of her. But I'm not doing that because I want her to maybe later in life pay you back in the future. I'm doing it because when I look at her, I just want to give her the best.
That is why I say that is where culture now starts. Why I start having problem with culture. Like, I'm not saying whether because when we give you should be able to give back. When they give you, like, you should be able to give your parents, like, whether you like it or not, bringing you to what I'm taking care of is actually, you should be able to give back. Is when you demand it, and some actually demand it in a very wrong way. And they look like they're not. It's like you're just hiding a lot of things under the cultural carpet. You do some fully to say, but I am your father. You do something, but I'm your elder brother. But I'm your uncle.
Do you know I don't like?
That's why I said it's crazy. Because
I think another person should say their own because we have dwelled on this period too much.
But you know what I don't like about as well? Before I go back to everyone that's talking, like, what elders do, they'll say, how do I explain it? They say you should behave a certain way or you should do this, but then they don't do it themselves, and then they'll cover it under the mat of, oh yeah, but I'm the elder.
Yes.
For me, that's nonsense. Because I should look up to you and you should be leading by example, like Chinamo said.
Do you know why I agree but I disagree? Is because with some things it's just you're just covering yourself up. Do you get? But there are actually things that you can't do until
there's an age.
Do you get?
I
then sometimes there's
I shouldn't see it then.
But children are always about. This is the thing. People don't understand.
Let's bring it back to Snoop Dogg. Let's bring it back to Snoop Dogg. Yeah. Snoop Dogg smokes excessively, heavily. for the 22 years or however many years that his son's been alive, he has never smoked in front of his son once.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
See, and I feel like that's how elders should behave. If you're doing something that you don't want me to do,
don't be doing it in my face.
I shouldn't be there. I shouldn't be there. I shouldn't be there. Either I shouldn't be there or don't do it.
What in that case, what he will do, and where people mess up is, like, for example, now, let's say we take Snoop Dogg situation. Most likely, anytime his child is in the house, he won't smoke at all. Or go out, and it'll go far.
Yeah.
But where people, and this is partly why culture catches up with them, is that they don't give children as much credit as they should.
Yeah.
So they can have the child in the room and
thinking that they won't.
Thinking the child is not involved, but the child can come out. The child can be the child can be doing all these things.
Ignorance.
So that's how.
What are you like?
No, but a lot of people do it because remember how many times people used to come to our house and they'd be arguing and fighting and they send us upstairs
thinking that we're not listening through the floor.
Through the door,
and that's where I say that for me, why I'm trying to build myself up to be mad elite is because I feel like you just shouldn't be doing something that you wouldn't want your child to do.
Yeah,
but like as bad as much as
you have to do it.
Do it
because do it. Yeah, do.
I think
there are some things as parents that you have to do that you won't be proud of.
Because even my child now,
even if you had to do it, and maybe your child will grow up and maybe have to make those same decisions. You can do it properly. You can do it because there are decisions that you have to. Bro, the smoking thing is like, bro, if you don't want your child to smoke, just don't smoke. And I'm very sorry if you smoke and you don't want your child to smoke. Then you're just
you're being a hypocrite.
But there's a lot of things like that when elders do something and then they don't want the child to do it, and it's like, bro,
but then again,
why are you doing?
Why is like that? Because there are certain things that at some age. I remember one time I was in university. My dad came to visit me in school in Uniport. Came and went to a bar, like he lodged in an hotel. So he asked them to bring drinks, like me and my roommate. I was like, let them bring like barbecue and stuff. And I was like, oh, what am I gonna drink? Me being me, I was first year because I was thinking, my dad, let me be humble. I was like, malt, bring me a bottle of malt. But like, so the one inside the fridge I saw in your room, within you guys, who put that one inside the fridge? Is it ghost that dropped? I said, no, you said you're in university now. You're a bit more. So
you can handle yourself.
Yeah, like, take what you want. And like for real, that is the
get me the
bottle of beer was cold, very cold.
Ooh.
It took me long. The beer was very hot at the time I was done. Because if I was my friends, that would go in 10 minutes. And very cold shit, 10 minutes. I'll be like, I'll go for like 4 or 5 bottles. But I was down one bottle was eating everything calmly. But what at this time is he knows that, oh, you're in university now, you're a big boy now, you should be able to handle this. Handle this. So you should be able to go out, drink with your friends and still go back to school and do what you're sent to do. So it's like that. But where is that problem is when they just start feeling like some parents will come there and be like, you still cannot drink in my front, you still cannot do this, you still cannot do that, you still cannot do no. Then this, but it will get to a point where
they trust
you should start, because you start integrating them into these things. Because whether I like it or not, my dad knew I was already drinking. So he started, okay, bring this thing close to home. You should be comfortable enough to drink
because the thing
at home
is,
than go and drink elsewhere and you not come back. Because
the thing is like, for example, like when I was going to like my first year of uni, you could tell the people that weren't exposed to anything because as soon as they got to uni, they wanted to try everything and anything. So I think it's worse to shelter your child and then be curious, and then when they have the freedom, they start doing mad crazy stuff, than for them to at least not be around it but be aware and having, because I think communication at that point is important, to be like, this is what this is, but if you ask about it, I'm going to communicate this to you in an effective way for you to understand that that's something that you shouldn't want to do or do, if that makes sense.
But this is what it is.
We've talked about Nigerian culture, and I was thinking, let's bring it home. Let's talk about the aspect
or present.
British, like
where we're currently
location,
vibe. So, bringing it back to base, I think when it comes to British culture, the thing, I will not say irks me, but the thing that makes me a bit uncomfortable is the fact that there is no decorum when it comes to speaking to older people and elders. It's not that you should bow down and lick their feet, but I feel like there has to be boundaries as to what you can tell a person older than you out of respect. Because I feel like in our society now, respect is slowly fading away. You see a 12-year-old child walking around the road, and like, let's say an elderly lady is trying to get on the bus and she's in his way, and he just says fucking bitch. Because he has no regard for the older.
That's the thing. It's actually someone's mum you're talking to.
It's true.
It's actually someone's grandmother.
But it's true because like people
in Nigeria, you be black out before you finish being black out. You wake up in the hospital.
But the thing is, in Nigeria, I feel like in Nigeria, you just said that to somebody's mom.
That's someone's mother.
As a pedestrian on the side of the road, I would have to hold you.
Because you mean
wait. But to be fair, if you think about it, I think that's the kind of the difference between like Nigerian culture and British culture is the thing of like, when we see an elder, even though we're not related, they're still my elder.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Them.
But in the UK, it's like, oh, that's an old lady.
Yeah. Do you know what? Because as well, like, you know when you're in school and you'll be like, oh, like my auntie, and you know everybody's auntie.
Yeah.
So this person comes to your house, oh, my auntie. No, my auntie, my cousin. Like, these people are not your cousin. Like,
I do know what I find very interesting. In the educational system, they respect. You can't go to your teacher and say fucking bitch. You'll be in trouble. No, you have to.
You will be in trouble.
You will be in trouble. You can do it.
You'll be in trouble. But on the streets, they do and say whatever they like, and there are no repercussions because they feel it's okay.
But I watched a video, and it was the guy was basically saying, I know, like he was talking about how like he swears at teachers and all of this stuff, and he was like, I know in school I'll be punished, but if I say that to someone outside, more time they're not going to do anything to me. So really and truly, they know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly that they won't be punished for it. But they do anyway.
It's like children though; they know what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they're not receiving consequence, they're just.
That's what I'm saying. So people don't have boundaries when respect doesn't necessarily mean that you bow down and worship this person, or when you see them, you kiss their ass. Respect means that you understand the boundaries, and because the person is older and above you, you have to accord them a certain level of decorum. Like for me, I feel correct. If you're going to be in my space and you're going to be just reckless,
something that happened
you
back
leave.
Home in Nigeria, in the East. There was a boy, he went to a church. I don't know some of those churches that's just they said your mom is your problem. This guy went home, so the mom's a witch, mom was done that, so the reason why you're not making progress. This guy went to flogged his mom, beat his mom openly. Yeah.
Jesus is
you know what happened? No, what happened? The
they beat him.
Yes,
it's not these people. They told him that we are agreed. Thank you. Your mom is a witch. Your mom is the person we know. Thank you. God bless. Thank you. That pastor that told you that, God bless you. But thank you. Can you just? They tied him to a tree, bro.
Lashed his back.
By force.
You know the way that boy they beat his so that the
he
mom
could not walk.
The mom is seeing the mom like if there's anything angel, you are the closest to angel of God I've seen. Because I'm here, I'm like, there was a time my mom we work in the same place. I felt like I was very uncomfortable that you call my mom by her name.
No, but that one I understand.
No.
It's part of
it is
what if you're working in Nigeria and you see, even if the person is 1 year older than you don't say, excuse me, sir. Please, sir. I pass?
I'm not saying.
You're not calling by his name, James.
By all means, I know that.
You're gone.
That's not respect. I can call you Sam and still be very disrespectful to you. But what I'm just saying is that it's rude to call. I don't know when you have.
I know what you mean though, because like I can't go to when I go to my friend's house, I call their mom's mum, even though their mum will tell me,
or auntie,
auntie.
To me, I can't
just
see
your mom.
Janet. I should come up and say, oh, hey Rebecca, how are you? Your mum.
But even at that, I think like because when
I
my friends,
I remember one time when we were young, we were. You know when they were playing, we're playing. I went to. Somebody, he called a friend of ours, he called his father. You know, when we were young, we didn't know our parents' name.
Are you okay?
I'm just imagining the beating.
Yeah.
I'm shaking already.
When we're young, we didn't know. We don't know our father's name. We don't know our father's name. We just know our son name and we know the name that they call him.
Yes.
So he knew his father's name. Instead of him we're playing, and he not said his father's name. And the father was at home, and the father heard him say his name. Father said, "You just said my name." I said, "Yes, that's your name."
He agreed. Why would he do that? Why would he do
that?
You see, I don't think that boy knows that name till today.
They picked the name.
You know why?
You have to wipe from your memory.
Yeah, I think that name wiped from his memory. So I'm not saying that's wrong though.
Yeah, of course.
That's wrong. But what I'm just saying is that whether I like it or not, it gives you some. What's the word you call it? It's decorum. But I don't
like in your workplace, even if you don't
call
everybody son, there's a way you speak to your colleagues, even your manager.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so in that level of decorum you maintain in profession and in your institution, carry it to your everyday life.
I think there's a line though.
Yeah, there's a line.
Because there's a line of how you should talk to your elders. But I feel like there's also something that in Nigeria we don't really have, which is like, I don't feel like children feel comfortable having conversations with their parents.
Because of that fear. Yeah.
Because as much as there are consequences, and I feel like you should get flogged for certain things, but then you should also have that ability to conversate with your elders.
But I think
in British culture they've crossed the line of saying anything and anyone and everything to their thing, and in Nigeria it's like you can't say anything to the elders.
But
which is why I feel like when
I want to say something.
I was about to, but I think like with saying that, like I think it's the thing of like, they believe that the child is never going to know as much as the elder to even engage in some sort of conversation. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, there's no point in engaging in conversation with you if we're not going to gain anything. Like you're going to tell me something that I already know. I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to know. So
that's wrong though.
But with discipline, for me, one thing I've learned in my experience is that every time I discipline my child, I try to open that place of I can still meet you at your level, and I know you can meet me at mine. So when I do something and I know I acted rashly because I was stressed or disorganized or whatever, I go to her and I know she may not fully understand, but I say, I'm very sorry I behaved like that. Mommy was having a difficult time. So I'm already instilling that, opening that flow of apology. Because one thing I think adults need to understand, even going back to the Nigerian culture, every adult needs to be able to meet a child at their level and assume that child can meet you at your level. Because it's just like when you're determining capacity, you assume a person has capacity until they prove they don't.
Yeah.
So when you meet a child, don't assume they're dumb, they don't know anything, they have no experience, they have not lived life. Assume they have. Then when you speak to them, you then determine their capacity.
What they have,
engage them. So a lot of times in the Nigerian culture, they don't do that.
That is one thing.
No matter how intelligent a child is, they just don't.
I feel like you should have both consequence and communication. That's what it is for me. Like you should be able to communicate with a child and tell them why one thing is wrong and why they shouldn't do it, but then also give them the consequence of doing it, so that they won't do it again. So that they
understand the consequence.
Understand the consequence, because if you just give them consequence, once they get out of your vicinity, they'll want to do it. Or if you just give them communication, they'll try to override you and feel like you're not even. I'm just gonna do it anyway.
It's just like I feel like it also teaches in life there are consequences, because there are. So if you allow a child, if you allow a child to do whatever they want, or when they do something wrong, they get away with it, or you don't really give them a proper because
you don't tell them no.
The thing is
and they'll think before they do something.
The thing is every child's consequence is different. So for example, Mum always used to say when she was younger, her consequence was not going to school. But for a lot of children, that's not a consequence. That's a blessing. You don't want me to go to school? I'm having a good time. You get somebody else's consequence is no TV. Somebody else's consequence can be sitting on the naughty step. Somebody else's consequence is no toys.
It boils down to understanding.
But now social media parents are arguing that time out and giving children time out and asking them to spend time alone is not good. Telling children no is not good.
I was about to say, I think it depends on the child, because for example with me, because for example with me as a child,
what I'm getting at is that they're trying to. I feel they're trying to create this space where gentle parenting where there is
that's that
you don't tell the child no, you just kind of like talk your way around it. But in this world, my darling,
if you're not getting the job, you're not getting the job.
Say,
unfortunately,
that's why
I'm giving you feedback.
Due to the high number of applicants.
Let's be real. A lot of people and a lot of these work people and that they're just not preparing people for real life. Bro.
Yeah.
You get, because at the end of the day,
that's
for example, when they say in school, when or in these schools where they're trying to say, everyone who participated won, like it's just not the fact of life. Because if two people apply for a job, one person gets it and one person doesn't. And I'm sorry, but if you didn't get the job, you won't be paid a salary for participating in the
There's something I posted this on my Instagram. Something people say where he said like it's so sad that the world, this current world, like
it's horrible.
It's just preparing us. It's like this fairy tale world. Like,
they're
not telling us reality, and it was like it's sad because you're hearing it from me because it's not. They're telling you, this is this. You just do this. You do that. You get this. So no, that's not what it is. It's just like, and wanted to just go into British culture a bit now. Is I found out that I don't know what it is here. For when you're polite. I don't want to say polite, but when you're
very
friendly and being you, sometimes they say like you want something from me, you're this. I mean like every time they scream love, respect.
But I think I think it depends.
And they feel like, for example, when you're too nice to people, like you're too nice.
No, but I think that's London.
Everything.
Nah, it's the UK.
Everything.
They just say you're too nice.
Everything.
In Nigeria, they will put a host and draw more niceness.
No, but what I'm saying is like now
it's because here everything is like everything comes at a price,
and they're getting what they can't give you.
So if you're too nice, it's either you're very very nice but you're talking rubbish, or you're trying to climb the ladder. So you want something nice to everybody. So that you can climb up. Or you're being nice now.
I understand.
You will need something.
I understand that. But
so therefore, that's why when they see somebody that's very very nice, they can't handle it.
For example,
it's like why nobody. And the thing is here nobody's nice. So why are you nice? Why are you? And it's UK. Why are you smiling? Why are you happy?
But the realness is, for me personally, I believe that's how life is. If somebody's mad nice to you, they want something.
No, but where we come from?
Because if somebody's nice, if somebody's nice to me, they may not ask me for something now. But next year, you'll feel comfortable enough to ask me for something that you shouldn't be asking me for.
Yeah, because you have deposited all this.
But then,
it depends on the boundaries that you set.
No, but for example, I'll make an example. For example, growing up, we used to have a lot of food in my house. So giving out food is the least thing I can do for anybody. Giving out food, like my parents enjoy
feeding
people. Like I have friends that the only thing they know me for today is for giving me food. They're like, you remember Drew, that guy? We used to go to your house to have food. Remember, we have a friend. He said the only place he eats pounded yam. Pounded yam used to be luxury back then. He said it's my house. And then I didn't even like pounded yam because my mom deals with yam. So I'm like, no, you're giving us yam too much. But it was like luxury, so we're giving it out. That people would just say, you want yam? Come. We used to have poultry. Like, you want chicken? Come. You want this? Come. We just give. And with those people, we didn't want anything from them. We just brought up that way.
Yeah.
If you
so it's your way of life.
Just give to people, share whatever you have with people, give to people. And sometimes, like we'll say that the reward is sometimes the laughter.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Also.
Sometimes.
As well.
No. I mean, of course, when we have been all brought up, we're all Christians, so we know that. When you give to people, but sometimes when you give to somebody and the person just smile. But sometimes they'll be like, let the world be their laughter, the smile.
But that's interesting.
When you feed their stomach.
I was raised to collect nothing and give nothing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
is I do believe that if somebody's too nice to you, that they do.
But that's what say that. But I'm sorry, but now I've been wired that way.
So you can't change.
Where that way to no matter who comes to my house, if we can share any food.
To be fair, when you were asking me out, I genuinely felt he wanted something from me. I was like, this guy is after my body because he was persistent. Everywhere when sunshine under the rain, he was giving me things.
Because do you know why? Do you know why I fully believe it and no one can change my mind? Because there are scenarios like you said, Jude, where you was giving out food and you didn't want anything from people. But the fact of the matter is, you were mad nice to Lillian because you knew you wanted to marry her. Yes, of course. Yeah, exactly. That was for me. That's how life is. No, like you know when like girls say, "Oh, like this guy's just mad nice," and like
no. Wait, no. I need to speak on this. Because I think, like, for example, it depends. There are some people who are nice to you because they want something from you. Yes, that is true. But I think there are sometimes it might be that they are nice and later on down the line they ask you for something. It has nothing to do with the fact that them, you know what I mean?
I believe it does, because if you weren't nice to me or felt comfortable being nice to me, later on down the line you wouldn't feel comfortable asking me for something.
Then you won't have any friends.
I'd rather not.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that sometimes, most times for me, my default is to give to people.
That's your love language.
You're very nice.
For example, if it's just because I'm thinking of my family, I have to protect my family. If I have my way, anybody that I know that doesn't have food and I know I can feed them, I'll say, come and take food. If I have anything that I can give, then my capacity to give to this person, come and have it. But what people don't understand is that no man is an island. I can't have everything by myself. So at some point I will have to ask somebody for something. If it happens that you are the one that can give me that thing at that time, as well. So I might not say, because I'll be giving you something. So no, but that's what I'm saying. Because for example, nobody needs something. Sometimes, like you say, like I always tell people, sometimes I can be nice to you and I don't want anything from you, but maybe 2 years later there's something that you can give
only
me.
You can
give me. I will not say because
I was that's the defining factor. Because if it's a case where you're being nice to people because you're holding in your mind that in all these years I've been nice to you, XYZ, blah blah blah.
Your intentions were never pure.
Your niceness was not real. Like which is why I feel like I was saying to somebody else, like, there's a difference between being nice and being kind. Everybody can be nice. I can be nice to you.
Okay, let me use that.
But if I'm kind to you, I genuinely care about you. So exactly. So regardless of what's going on, let's say I meet you at work and I don't know, I just talk to you and I'm like, I really like you, you're a very interesting person. I'm talking to you, whatever. Whether in the talking we now become friends, but if we didn't or if we did, I'm still talking to you not because I think, this sister is connected to one brother, so if I leave this job, I know I can still. I'm just talking to you.
Yeah, I kind of have something like that.
But you know why it's like that. You know why I don't fault people like that, because the way this world is now is such a give me. So when you see people, being nice, these days is very. For example, that's why I said sometimes I'm surprised at people. For example, if you offer somebody lunch, and like, I bought you lunch. Maybe I walk up like, I bought lunch. They wonder like, how much is it?
Yeah.
I know for a fact. I know for a fact that if I buy something if somebody buys, for example, in work they all make each other coffee, this and the other. Right, sometimes one person go down and go, do you want coffee, and ask everyone else. You see me, I would never say yes to those people, because 100%. When it's my turn to make coffee, I'm not making for anybody. And that's how I'd rather it be, because in life, cool, you're gonna go around being kind to me, but like you said, later on in the future, I might have something that you might need, and you might need a favor from me. I'd rather you not ask me.
But what if you need a favor from me?
I want to structure my life in a way where I don't need favors from anybody.
No, but that's why I said. There are many people that live like that.
Yeah, but that's many people.
No, but even I don't think it's possible because business-wise,
and there's a difference between business. There's a difference between business and just everyday life. In business, we're gonna meet together, bring things to the table to reach a goal. Yeah, but in everyday life, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't need
for
anybody
a person
else.
Like me.
That's how I believe.
I posted a few weeks ago where I said